Top of the morning to you. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, happy hump day. We're almost there. We made it this far. I think we can make it till Friday. At least I hope we do. I hope I do.
Space and time defines your reality.
How many of you guys watched that Pacers and Celtics game last night? Boy, the Pacers blew it, man. My email should be in the description of the video. Let me look. Yeah, it's in the description of the video. It says business or sponsorship inquiries, email Pete at, and then my email address is in there. What's up, Hoghead? Roll Tide 99, Matt Dummett, Jeremy, good morning. Dick Smith, sorry, buddy. Dick Simon, Nate the Great, Zona Tucson, Robert. What's up, Squid? Young Seminole. Good to see all you this morning. Yeah, that game last night was crazy. The Pacers blew it. They had the game won, and they botched an inbound pass, which gave possession back to the Celtics with like 2 seconds left or something. And they nailed a three-pointer to take it to overtime, and then they won in overtime. What's up, Slim? Tried sending an email of item to you. Might be interested that I found in the house that I'm moving into. All right, I'll check that out. I'll look at it after the show's over. What is it Clemson related or something? What's up, Nick? So I don't know how many of you have heard about this. I got a text message. I'm in a group text with Uncle Lou and a couple of other guys, and he texted something this morning about. So I know there has been a lawsuit going on for a little while now about revenue sharing for colleges. You know, basically pay for play, right? I guess the court case has ended from what I can tell from his text. I haven't been able to really find anything about it online. Maybe I just haven't looked hard enough, and actually I didn't look very hard, so I probably haven't looked hard enough. But according to what he said, is basically what it is starting in 2025 season, so next season, the schools will be allotted $20 million to divvy out amongst their players per year. That's not per player, that's in total. They can disperse that $20 million in any way that they wish to divvy it out. Now, on one hand, I don't like the idea of it in general, which I think everybody that's been listening to me knows that. On the other hand, there are some positive things about it. Mainly, it levels the playing field. No pun intended. It levels the playing field, so at least every university is working with the same amount of money. So right now what you have is universities that have much more money through NIL to bait players into coming to their university than other schools do. Now it's more a more level playing field. Yeah, every school. Is that every school in Division I, Lou? Do you know that? I mean, that doesn't include the FCS and shit, does it? Or maybe it does. I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Yeah, what's up, Rick? ACC and Big 13, that was the Big 10. School presidents have already voted on approval. SEC, Big 13 is the Big 12. Okay. So the Big 12 and the ACC have approved it. Now it's just the SEC and the Big 10 vote coming soon. And they'll approve it too, I'm sure. Why wouldn't they? Fake news, if it were a thing, you wouldn't have to look that hard to find it. I didn't really look that hard. I just kind of like Googled it. And what came up on the first couple of searches was from a couple of weeks ago that the lawsuit was coming to an end soon. A ruling was coming soon. That's all I know. Listen, look, listen. I believe it's true. I know the lawsuit's been going on, so I don't know why Uncle Lou would be lying about it, which he's not. Which he's not. Slim's going to be mad about something else, too. Not only are they going to drop the charges against the golfer, Scotty Scheffler, but they're doing an investigation on the police officer. And he's probably going to get reprimanded. I don't think he's getting reprimanded necessarily because of the arrest. I think he's getting reprimanded for breaking policy on not turning his body camera on. I'll do that in a minute, Lou. First, I want to watch this. Let me turn this music off. But yeah, good morning to everybody. Happy midday, happy Wednesday, happy hump day, happy every other day, whatever day you want to call it. Here you go. I haven't watched this yet, but this is just basically I guess this is from the Louisville local news station regarding Scotty Scheffler's arrest and the case against him. Play, please. There we go.
This policy regarding body-worn cameras was violated, and now LMPD says they're investigating. On Monday, Mayor Craig Greenberg said the officer from Scotty Scheffler's arrest did not record the incident.
He was then assisting with the traffic and did not turn his body camera on during the initial contact with Mr. Scheffler. According
to LMPD's body-worn camera policy, during their tour of duty or while engaged in a uniformed law enforcement-related secondary employment, members will maintain their BWC in a constant state of operational readiness. The BWC will be used to record all calls for service and law enforcement activities and encounters. It also goes on to state members will immediately activate their BWC in recording mode prior to engaging in all law enforcement activities or encounters. When we asked Mayor Greenberg if the officer violated policy, he said LMPD is looking into it.
They will be very clear with that, and we will deal with that appropriately. I will let the chief speak to the details of LMPD policy about when body cam footage is or is not supposed to be turned on, particularly when it comes to working traffic duty or the investigative scene.
We reached out to LMPD about their policy. In a statement, they said we are still reviewing all available information as well as all applicable policies. We will advise and release more information when appropriate. In the meantime, the legal proceedings are postponed for Scheffler, who faces assault of an officer in the second degree, which is a felony, and other misdemeanors. His attorney, Steve Romines, filed a motion to delay his arraignment. Originally scheduled for Tuesday, it will now happen June 3rd. A spokesperson for Jefferson County Attorney Mike O'Connell said O'Connell objected to the delay and that their office continues to gather information in the case. As of now, Romines says Scheffler will appear in court in person. In Louisville, Madison Elliott, WLQY News.
So I didn't really say anything other than they're looking into why the officer didn't have his body camera on. So I guess it's really not much about nothing. But they did get the continuance or the delay of the arraignment, which will happen on June the 3rd. Every other article I've read suggested that they're most likely just going to drop the charges. I don't know if it's related to the body camera or not, or just the arrest in general. But stay tuned. Investigator Peete is on top of it. All right, now let's look at this. Let's look at this. Where is it? NCAA football. Here we go. Now, this is Yahoo News. This isn't ESPN, but I would imagine it would be on here. If it's not, I'll go to ESPN. All Yahoo News is a collection of random articles from different publications. So. Yeah, I'll just go to ESPN. Give me a second. All right. So here's the ESPN college football site. Got the Jaden Rashada thing, top headlines. This must be it here, right? ACC joins Big 12 to settle House versus the NCAA. That might be it. Yeah, this is it. All right, so here's what it says. The ACC has joined the Big 12 as a second named party in the House versus the NCAA to vote settle that case and related antitrust cases. Without those votes formalized, the path is underway to forge a new era in college football. There will be 4 more votes this week, 3 more from the Power 5 leagues and 1 from the NCAA Board of Governors. The ACC presidents voted in person in Charlotte, North Carolina, at their meetings Tuesday evening. The Big 12 presidents and the chancellors voted virtually Tuesday afternoon to unanimously approve, with departing members Texas and Oklahoma abstaining. The 12 continuing members from this year's conference all voted to pass. The settlement is widely expected to pass, which will chart a new course for college sports in establishing a framework for schools to share millions of dollars with their athletes in the future and create a fund of more than $2.7 billion to pay former athletes who are not allowed to sign image and likeness deals. Sources have consistently indicated that ESPN that there is little resistance on the conference level and that the NCAA is also expected to pass the settlement measure. Blah, blah, blah. This is about... Okay, so here's what we're talking about. That was about reimbursing former players for lost NIL deals. Okay, there's also a roughly $20 million in permissive revenue sharing that is expected to begin in the fall of 2025. This revenue sharing will give the athletic departments a direct ability to pay the players, a massive paradigm shift for all college athletics. The point of the school settling is to avoid even bigger damages down the road, which legal experts considered a likelihood considering the NCAA's poor record in court cases. My question is, because it does say up here, all college athletics. So is the $20 million, and maybe it does address it in this article, I just haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm still going to ask the question. Does this include, so $20 million for all of your sports programs? Or just the football program? I guess it's all sports programs. So if that's the case, it makes it difficult for each school to decide, are we going to pay the softball players, or are we just going to concentrate on football because that's the cash cow? You know what I mean? Because $20 million sounds like a lot of money, but if it's just for the football team, it is a lot of money. But when you start divvying it up amongst 15 different sports, then maybe it's not. There's still an aura of uncertainty hanging over the landscape as school presidents are meeting both virtually and in person this week. On-campus school officials are meeting and scrambling to figure out how to adjust to the new paradigm. Schools in bigger leagues need to find nearly $20 million to budget for athletes to figure out how to divide it. Smaller leagues are adjusting on how to cover costs. The NCAA is withholding varying money from schools in all levels of Division I to cover the cost. Yeah, it has to go to all sports. Yeah, it's just interesting. Like what would but pick a school. Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech has $20 million to divvy out. Would they just concentrate on the football program to try to get recruits in there, or would they divvy it up amongst the volleyball players and the fucking golfers and everybody else? You know what I mean? What's up, C-Raw? I think it's good news in the way that it somewhat levels the playing field. In that way, it's good. In general, is it good? I don't know the answer to that. I guess it just depends on your personal opinion on the way that college sports should look. And no, Dabo's not retiring. That's fake news. And as a matter of fact, I'll be willing to take a bet from anybody. If anybody thinks that Dabo Swinney is not going to be the head coach at Clemson in 2025, I'll tell you, send me the PayPal or Cash App or whatever amount of money you want, and I'll bet you. I'll take anybody's bet right now. So there's that. They're also expected to continue asking Congress to work towards narrow exemptions from future lawsuits. The industry belief is that has been that Congress could be more willing to help college sports as opposed to saving it. Now that there's a structure moving forward that includes a revenue distribution for the players. What's up, Chunky D33? What's up, Vandy? Yeah, yes, Vandy, if it's tempting, my PayPal and Cash App are both in the description of the video. He's not leaving. He was never leaving. I don't care what he said. So that's pretty much it. So starting in 2025, in the fall of 2025, all Division I schools will be allotted $20 million to divvy out to their players how they see fit. The StreamYard is open. I would like to know from some of you how you feel about this. Is this good? Is this bad? Are you indifferent to it? Welcome to the show, sir.
So you mean to tell me, despite what Uncle Lou says, I'm right again? Because all of this is just expectations. Nothing actually is done, like I said.
Well, here, you can talk to him about it yourself.
Great news!
Yeah, none of it's done. It's all, this is what we expect to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen, buddy.
I don't care about your expectations.
Okay.
Yeah,
I expected to be a millionaire by now, but hey, we didn't meet those
yeah,
expectations.
but Lou's right. It's going to happen.
You know what the problem is? It's like anything else. It's like a step in the right direction, kind of, but it doesn't really address, at least initially, some of the other problems. Like this still doesn't prevent an NIL booster from giving Jaden Rashada $9 million when he's a senior in high school.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't address any of that.
That's why I'm a fan of what the Boise State coach said. I don't think freshmen should be eligible for NIL. Because at the end of the day, NIL is an endorsement deal. You come in, you make a name for yourself, people want to give you an endorsement deal.
The problem with that, Slim,
just never happened. I mean, but the NIL thing's not going away.
Yeah, so. The problem with that, Slim, is
I'm not saying go away. I'm just saying, like he said, freshmen aren't eligible for it.
NIL is now written into law, so a school's policy can't supersede the law.
I think.
I know.
What the end of all this is going to be, and I know people hate when you compare college football to NFL, and I'm not necessarily doing that, but like in general terms, what the NFL does with its players is against the law. But Congress has carved out special exceptions for the NFL so that they can legally operate the way they do without getting sued every other week. And so that's what the NCAA is trying to do. They want special rules carved out for that. Like a salary cap is illegal. Like just on its face, a salary cap is illegal.
Yeah, and in a capitalist free market system, it is. Yeah,
teams are allowed to do it because they have antitrust exceptions written into the law in Congress, and that's what college football wants. So, like with this lawsuit, before they finalize it and agree to pay this $2.7 billion to all the ex-players, they want guarantees and assurances from the government that they won't be sued again for the same thing by a different group of players or sued again 10 years down the road for the same thing. So like I was confused about why they were trying to get Congress involved a couple of years ago. Like all they ever do is screw everything up. They're trying to get the same exemptions that the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, all these organizations have. Like you work for me and you can't, like this will solve the transfer problem. Because they'll be able to put the kids under contract and they'll say, you can't transfer. You're under contract here for 3 years. You can't leave. Like if you work at Verizon and you want to go work at AT&T, you're free to do that. It's against the law for Verizon to tell somebody you can't go work for AT&T.
What about non-compete?
It's not against the law for the NFL to tell somebody they can't go play for another team because they have those exceptions carved out, and that's what college football wants. They want to be able to pay the players with a salary cap, limit transfers, limit all this kind of stuff, which generally is against the law. They want it made legal for college football.
Well, no, there's exceptions even there, though. Like there are companies that make you sign no competes where you can't go.
So listen. So
non-competes are illegal as of 2 months ago.
Also, even when they were legal, they never held up in court. For instance, I've talked about this before. In 2008, I along with my sister, we bought into a national franchise to start a business. They made us sign a non-compete. In other words, I couldn't take their business model and then go start my own company and then compete against them in the Charleston market. If I had done that, there would be nothing that they could do about it.
Yeah, I know a company I worked for at one time. I had everybody sign one. I just didn't sign it.
Well,
then they don't hire you.
Is Rick talking? He's real quiet.
Was that better?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know if they can.
What I don't understand is how the distribution for past players work. Like, do they just all?
It works like a what do you call the giant lawsuits where everybody gets a nickel?
A class action.
Yeah, it's that basically. If you played college football, you're going to get a check for $30 or whatever the amount is.
That's about how much it probably is going to be. Yeah.
So they're divvying up like $2 billion between everyone that played for the last 10 years.
I don't know what the time frame is. It's $2.7 billion. I don't know if it's like everybody that's alive that played college football or if there's a time frame. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Didn't something similar?
The settlement will be that's it. Ex-players don't get anything else. You can't file another lawsuit next week.
Oh, if you accept the money, then you can't.
Wasn't there a similar lawsuit in the NFL? Like didn't the former players sue the NFL for like medical costs and stuff like that? some years ago.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they won too.
That's right. I mean, it's going to have to move toward the way the NFL does things, or this college football will crumble. I mean, you can't keep going like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and when it comes to that $20 million too, and this is something I'm not entirely certain on, I don't think they can divvy that money up how they see fit. I think that's part of Title IX, where they have to give a football player the exact same amount they give a women's softball player.
I think that's correct, and that's where they might step into other legal issues. I don't know that this avoids all the legal issues they think it will.
Oh, it sounds like it's a big fucking mess to me.
Well, I mean,
that's the
it's not
case.
a mess if they just divvy it up equally amongst all sports like you were talking about.
Well, how many? I mean, $20 million amongst every single athlete in college is not that much. Like, even Vandy Dandy said 300 people splitting $20 million would be $75,000 each. But there's more than 300.
I don't know how many athletes on average. Like, I did the math just for college football, 85 scholarships, and it would be $235,000 just like per football player.
Yeah.
But like you said, then you got basketball and women's basketball and diving and everything else. So I don't know what the actual amount would be.
Well,
Georgia's bass fishing team would be included as well.
How much money does the NCAA have? Because if they just give $20 million to 134 teams, that's $2.6 billion, right?
No, the NCAA is not giving the money to the schools. The schools have to.
The schools have to come out of their own pocket for that. Yeah.
Oh, well, that kind of changes everything. What if the school doesn't have $20 million?
There's not a school that doesn't have $20 million.
There's not a
TV contract is worth more than that.
Yeah, there's not a Division I school that doesn't have $20 million.
So they'll have to draw down what they spend on other things, or they'll have to balance it like that. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would just it would just be
able to make that argument for Group of Five because they don't have the TV contracts that the power conferences do.
Yeah, but even the Group of Five teams. Now the FCS teams, there might be some that struggle with that, but I think the Group of Five teams would be all right. I mean, it's basically just going to be built into the school budget like anything else.
So this is an unfunded mandate. What this is. Okay.
And also, this isn't going to require the schools to pay $20 million. It's going to allow them to pay, which there is a difference. Like,
so this
now most schools will do it, but they won't be required to.
So now does Dabo allow Clemson to pay the players? Well, if he wants to compete, he will.
And of course, that'll affect recruiting. You know, if there's some school that says, "Well, we're not paying."
Well, I mean, I think absolutely your private schools will probably head that up. Your Miamis, Dukes, Stanfords, Vandy's, they'll definitely be at the forefront of that.
So this doesn't even the playing field at all, then.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, it makes it worse.
So my original assessment was wrong. I didn't realize that. I just figured that every school was going to do it.
Well, I think every school will, but I guess they don't have to. Well, first of all, maybe not first of all, but down the road at some point, do you think in 10 years from now, do you really think there's still going to be 65 quote unquote power football schools?
What are you trying to say? Do you think there'll be more or less?
Less.
Oh, they'll definitely be less. And I mean, to the point of Group of Five not being able to pay it, it was 7 or 8 years ago, UAB had to shut down their football program because they couldn't afford it.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about the Group of Five. I'm talking about just the 64, 65, 68, whatever it is, power football teams. Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to get down to about 40.
I think you're right, because the parity is going to get wider.
But I'm interested to know why you think there's going to be fewer.
I think some of the schools won't be able to keep up financially with what's going on. $20 million is going to be just the beginning. But we talked about NFL salary caps the other day. The salary cap in the NFL today isn't what it was 10 years ago. And the $20 million for college football isn't going to be $20 million 10 years from now. It's going to be $40 million.
Yeah.
You know, and the SEC and the Big Ten aren't going to have 35 teams each. They're going to have about 20 teams each. And that's going to be it.
Yeah.
Probably. And that's when basically college football's NFL light at that point.
I mean, Wake Forest won't be involved. Cal. whatever, name the teams. I don't know.
Yeah, there's at least a dozen teams that fit in that category. Yeah.
I mean, these teams aren't going to make the cut in the end.
Right.
Well,
all of our teams will.
I'm not certain Miami will, to be honest with you.
It's funny you say that because I've heard more than a couple of people say that Miami could be headed to the AAC.
I find that unlikely, but okay.
Yeah, I find that unlikely too.
Well, if they're not in the SEC and they're not in the Big Ten and no other power conferences exist.
I mean, I realize that Miami is not a big school and they're private, but have you seen the tuition costs there? They've got the money.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. And I've maintained that. Colleges that cry bro fucking cry me a river. I'm not hearing that.
I mean, like Duke only has 6,000 students. I mean, compared to, like a lot of these big state universities, have 50 and 60,000 undergrad. But the tuition at Duke itself can pay the $20 million plus their TV contracts through basketball and football and everything else.
That doesn't have
Is
anything to
Duke
do
really
with your
only
athletic
6,000?
money, though.
Yeah.
Your tuition costs. That goes. You can't mix those funds.
I mean, probably what happens between now and whenever something like that happens is what we've heard about football eventually breaking away from the NCAA. So that gets rid of your Title IX problem.
Yeah, that's eventually going to happen too, and it probably should. The NCAA's inept anyways.
Well, they can't do anything. They don't do anything now.
No.
I mean, if you're of the belief that like players deserve to get paid because of the revenue they generate and all that, then you also need to be of the belief that the divers and the women basketball players don't need to get paid.
Right.
Because they're a net loss.
Yeah. Almost all the sports are, other than basketball and football.
Yeah.
Baseball might break even, but I doubt they're making any money, any real money.
I mean, there's no way the colleges can do this in a socialist way. There's just there's just no way that every football player and every pole vaulter is going to be making $11,000 a year paid from those. That's not going to happen. I don't know what is going to prevent it from happening, but that's not going to happen.
No.
I mean, the football player is going to make $150,000 and the pole vaulter is not going to make anything. I mean, that's
interesting.
Gonna happen.
Well, I mean, as things sit right now, they have no choice but to do it that way unless somebody gets to repealing federal law.
Well, because of the law, but football's in a catch-22 because all these sports are happy to have football fund everything they do, but then on the other end, they don't want football to get anything they don't get.
Yeah. I mean, if you're allowed to divvy it up how you want, the schools, the big powerhouse football programs will be smart to just keep that money just in football, or maybe football and basketball or something like that. But
and I mean, we say that football is the money spinner for these universities, and that's not always the case either. I mean, the general endowment fund at Miami is almost $5 billion. That has nothing to do with football whatsoever.
But does football generate more money than anything else?
Yes,
Miami?
of course it does.
I don't think so.
But it does just through.
You don't understand.
It does just through TV contracts alone, Slim.
I don't think you're getting a pot of $5 billion through the TV contracts.
We're talking about what the sports generate
on
their own merit.
Yeah, it's not even close. There's no way that any other sport at Miami generates more than the football team does.
No, what I'm saying is what the university generates through other means outside of sports dwarfs what sports generates.
Well, sure. Then Tech's killing it, right?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure I understand your point, to be honest.
I mean, like academic and what they do in research and what they generate.
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly. Like that pot of $5 billion that they have doesn't come from sports. That comes from everything else.
You're talking about at Miami, but that pot of $5 billion or whatever you're talking about, like all those are in different buckets of money that can't be intermingled. If you donate to an academic thing, that can't be spent on football.
I understand that a specific endowment can't, but that What I'm talking about is their general endowment fund that they can use wherever they decide.
Okay, but what does that have to do with what we're talking about?
What that has to do is that rakes in $5 billion a year. Their football program does not rake in $5 billion a year. There's not a football program in the country that rakes in $5 billion a year.
Neat.
Well, that's great, but none of that money can be used on sports.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand that. What I'm saying is, as far as the universities are concerned, as a whole, football isn't the money spinner that we try and make it out to be.
It is as far as athletics are concerned. That's what we're talking about.
All these people suing each other and up in arms about it if it's not, a huge money generator.
Look, I don't know what the argument is. Football drives all the other sports at every major university. That's just the way it is. I don't know what you're talking about endowment funds. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
And some things sound harsh, but it's just reality, at least for me. Like I said the other day, I don't give a fuck about graduation rates. I don't. I couldn't care less. I also don't care about softball or track and field. I just don't. I don't have a tie to the University of Georgia. I didn't go there. I just like the football team.
It's funny you brought that up.
That's all. I could care less what happened to the women's soccer team. And I know that makes me an asshole, but I just don't give a fuck.
I know you're talking about what Dabo said about the graduation rates. I know you don't care and the average fan doesn't care, and I don't care. But he cares. A lot of the players that come to Clemson care, and a lot of the parents of the players that come to Clemson care. That's who cares.
But if a player cares about graduation rates, he can graduate anywhere he goes.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm speaking more about if a lot of times a decision of what football program to go to is not decided solely by the player. It's decided. It's a family decision, and the family.
That's who should care about graduation rates.
Yeah.
The individual that's enrolled there and his immediate family.
Yeah. So as a recruiting tool, Dabo can go to the family when he sits down in the living room in a recruiting trip and say, "Hey, your kid is more likely to graduate here than there," and that affects their decision.
Yeah, and I think that should be more of a consideration to a lot of players, considering literally 99% of them will never play in the league.
Right, but again, I don't care. I don't care. If a guy goes to Georgia and decides he's going to leave after 3 years instead of graduating and then washes out of the NFL in a year, I don't care.
Well, again, I don't care either.
I'll be the asshole. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter to me. I'm already on to the guy that replaced him at Georgia. I really don't care.
Yeah, you don't care, but other people care.
Who?
The family of the player.
That's what I'm saying, and I said that in the video. Outside of the individual and his immediate family, I don't see why anybody cares about the graduation rate.
Well, I think if every fan's honest, they care about their team winning beyond all else.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I was about to say it's a winning above all. No one cares.
Yeah,
about
the average numbnut fan like us doesn't care, but there are people that care, and that's the player and the family. That's all.
Yeah, I would prefer Georgia played within the rules. I'm sure, like everybody else, they stretch the limits of that. And I don't want Georgia to be outright cheating. Do they? That's not the point. But yeah, I want Georgia to win. I couldn't tell you. What's Cade Klubnik majoring in? Nobody knows.
I don't know, and
Nobody
I don't care.
Cares.
Yeah, I see both sides of the argument on that.
I think it's. We should care to the point that it's not great for the country to have a bunch of half-literate numbnuts run around that just got pushed through school.
Right, but in any other conversation that doesn't involve football, you downgrade college education. but for football players, it's somehow important to you. I don't believe you.
Yeah, but does it surprise you that a head coach would use that as a feather in his cap? It doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me that a coach who's gotten worse every year for the last 6 years would use it. No, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, you know what? He's been talking about that since back when they were winning national championships. This isn't a new thing with him.
Well, just because he said it doesn't mean he means it.
Well,
I mean, he said he was quitting if they paid players. He didn't mean that, did he?
yeah. No, I don't think he meant. I don't think he meant it when he said it. I think he was being hyperbolic.
I don't believe anything he says about graduation.
I think, and I've been saying this ever since he said it. I feel like he was giving a snark response to the question, like well, if they're going to start paying players, I'll just go to the NFL. I don't think he never had any intention of doing that.
I think it's a snarky answer when he's asked about the transfer portal, and he answers by quoting his team's graduation rate.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think he.
That's how he operates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, and I meant this. If anybody doesn't think that Dabo Swinney is going to be the head coach in 2025 because of this court ruling, my PayPal and Cash App is in the description of the video. I'll bet you whatever amount you want to bet.
No, I still have the 10-year thing though.
Yeah.
2034.
He'll be there in 2025. The question is, at what point does Clemson start? Like, does this all wear thin to the point they really apply pressure on Dabo?
Who's they?
Happening now.
Who's they? You mean the fans?
His bosses.
Oh shit! Again, Dabo's not getting fired. If that's what you're suggesting.
I'm not necessarily saying
but that doesn't
but
mean
you
that
let
he's
him
not
get
getting
4
pressure
wins,
from above.
4 losses for the next 3 seasons. They're going to forget about his success of yesteryear.
Administrations can force coaches to do things. How many coaches have been forced to hire an offensive coordinator? It happens all the time. Somebody should force Dabo to start getting transfer players every year.
Well, I mean, he's made offers. You can't kidnap somebody and tie him up and force him to come to Clemson University.
I like the status quo to be pushing right now. It's way more funnier. So I like the status quo right now.
I mean, I think it's.
I don't think anybody's doing that. But how many players has he offered? 3?
Well, 3 is more than 0, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's like if you're recruiting and you go, we need a defensive lineman. Let's offer 1 high school defensive lineman and hope that we get him. I mean, they don't do that. They offer 15 defensive linemen, and then try to get 2 or 3 of them. But
yeah, but he's not going to. He doesn't do the same. He does the same thing in regular recruiting. He won't over offer players on principle, because then if it goes above the scholarship limit, then he has to rescind his offer, and he's not willing to do that. Now the debate on whether that's a good thing or not that's totally acceptable. But that's his philosophy.
I'm not even talking about offers. I'm talking about in-home visits, contacts, going to watch a kid play, text messages, phone calls. How many defensive linemen, high school defensive linemen, do you think Dabo talks to in a year? 40?
At least 6, at least 16 in one class, at least.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Right. Transfers, he's just, I don't know. It's fine with me if he doesn't do it. I mean, the portal was invented in October of 2018. Clemson won the Natty 2 months later. The next year, they lost in the Natty game. The year after that, they lost in the first round of the playoffs. The year after that, they lost 3 games. The year after that, they lost 3 games. Last year, they lost 4 games. Maybe it's a coincidence.
Huh. I think it's a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence at all. I think Clemson's problem over the past couple of years, or 3 or 4 years, has been the quarterback problem. DJ Ukulele and Cade Klubnik. Outside of that, the team has been good.
Well, no, your wide receiver core has been non-existent since 2019, and
offensive line.
Yeah, and offensive line I think was even a problem before.
I was going to say the offensive line wasn't very good when they were winning titles.
Yeah, but you had quarterbacks with a skill set that matched it.
Again, like I said, the biggest problem at Clemson over the past 4 years has been the quarterback.
Well, 2 transfer quarterbacks have won Heisman's in the last 3 years while you're busy starting Cade Klubnik.
Well, it's not like he's trying to recruiting 3-star quarterbacks and trying to develop them. Now, Cade Klubnik and DJ Ukulele were both 5-star quarterbacks.
Yeah,
coming out of high school.
LSU and whoever else isn't signing 3-star quarterbacks either. They're signing 5-stars, figuring out they're not any good, so they're going and getting Heisman winners out of the portal.
Yeah. Again, the way he does it is up for debate whether it's good or not. But again, that's his philosophy. I don't necessarily agree with it either. But it is what it is. I mean, we know who Dabo Swinney is. There's no he's not a secretive about it either.
No doubt.
You know. So
Guarantee you one thing: K. Klubnik will graduate.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's a good thing he's going to graduate because he's going to need that degree because he ain't playing in the NFL.
Yeah, Dabo might have done him a solid with that.
And then
Well,
to
you
say
better pay
most of the
attention in
players in the portal aren't good enough to play at Clemson. I mean, that's just not true either.
No. Now, that is true, and that's true. That's true of most of the major college football programs. But look,
Somebody's good.
the reason, unless they're a graduate transfer, most of the players in the transfer portal are transferring because they're not good enough to play where they're at now.
This is true.
Yeah, most. That is true.
Right.
that
But
is
there's
something to change.
someone in the portal is good enough to play at Clemson.
I didn't
though.
say, and again, he didn't say every player in the portal is not good enough to come here. He said most, and that's true not only for Clemson. It's true for Georgia. It's true for Ohio State. It's true for Miami. I mean, you go down the list.
Yeah. That part of what he said got misconstrued and blown out of proportion with all the memes. If you listen to what he said, it's exactly what you said. He said most players in the portal aren't good enough to play at Clemson. And that is true. Most players in the portal aren't good enough to play anywhere. That's why they're in the portal.
Right.
Yeah. And that got blown out of proportion. He got twisted around to make it seem like Dabo said, there's not a single person in the portal who's good enough for me.
Yeah.
And that's not what he said.
Right.
Dabo is very memeable, though. He kind of walked in.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
And on top of the fact that he's only offered like 3 guys in the portal, and there's obviously multiple offensive linemen, multiple wide receivers that would surpass anybody on your team that were in the portal.
Well, I mean, what's your biggest need right now at Clemson, Pete, other than quarterback?
Offensive line. Offensive line. Dabo's not entering the transfer portal.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I did not expect
That was too easy to pass up, though.
I don't know. I mean, in the world, we all complain about how coaches do coach speak and don't say what they really mean, and Dabo actually does say what he really means, and then people get on him for it. So, I mean, it's a catch-22 with him.
No, I do respect him for that. I mean,
Well,
Dabo
even you
is who
just
he
said,
is.
though, he
I get
doesn't
it.
always say what he means.
Well,
Well-
do you know what someone means, though?
I think that saying what you mean and being hyperbolic are two different things. I don't. Again, when he talked about how the quote, the direct quote, I can't remember exactly what it was. Well, if they start paying players, I'll just do something else, or I'll go to the NFL if that's how it's going to be. I don't think that he was being literal when he said that.
Or what about when he said maybe we need to lose some games to get rid of these bandwagoners in our fan
Yeah,
base?
see, that's another hyperbolic statement. I mean,
But that was dumb. I mean, that's a good lesson to never box yourself into a corner because people are going to be writing down everything you say. I mean, that's the world.
I mean,
that he
he does have a habit of putting his foot in his mouth, and the whole thing, him versus the fans, is that might be even dumber than the thing where he said, I won't coach if they pay the players. I mean, that's rule number one as a head coach. You don't ever go to war with the fans that support you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I didn't understand with Dabo. He is quite adversarial
Well, he is. Yeah,
with his own fan base.
he is.
There have been a couple of Miami coaches I wish would have done that, to be honest with you.
Why? You could fire him quicker?
No, but Miami fans turn on a fucking coach quick. I'd absolutely love it if you had a head coach come out and go, hey, dummy, shut the fuck up. I know what I'm doing.
Well, you have touchdown Tim in his car on his way to Miami if you do that.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
That goofball.
There's a few types of fans.
Epitome.
There's fans that will just blindly follow the head coach no matter what they do. There's fans that hate whatever the coach does, and there's people in the middle like me who like some of the things that he does and is critical of other things that he does.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got accused of what they said. They said I must be related to Manny Diaz because I said he shouldn't have been fired. I was like, I never wanted the numbnuts hired. I said, but once you do, you gotta give him time to learn how to be a head coach first.
Yeah. Look at Auburn. And that guy had been a head coach.
He had 3 years, so.
No, he didn't. They fired him before his second season was over with.
While he was recruiting.
See, I know Uncle Luke can relate to this because I hear a lot of comparisons about Mark Richt and Dabo Swinney. Like there was a split in the fan base amongst the people that just loved Mark Richt because he was a Christian man and he was good for the university and he loved his players and blah blah blah, but he wasn't winning titles. The difference between Mark Richt and Dabo Swinney is that Dabo Swinney was winning titles.
Right.
That's true.
Well, Dabo was also in the ACC. So.
And I got
Dabo is better than Rick. I mean, that's just number one. At the end of time, when they make a coaching tier list, there will be no scenario where Dabo is below Mark Rick. I mean, Dabo is a better. If Dabo never coaches another game, he's better coached than Mark Rick.
Yeah, and Vic says he was in the ACC. Well, but national championships are national. They're not conference championships.
I don't necessarily I get your point. I agree. Dabo will be higher on that list, but having a national title doesn't make you a better. Ed Orgeron is not a better coach than Mark Richt.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, Mark Rick won 2 SEC titles in 15 years. That doesn't make him special.
Right.
The best thing about Mark Richt, like on his tombstone, is averaged 10 wins a year for 15 years in the SEC during a period of time where the SEC was the best it's ever been. That's good. He was a really good coach.
Right.
He wasn't great. He wasn't elite. And I wouldn't put him ahead of I would put him ahead of Orgeron. You're right. So it's not just national titles, but I mean, Dabo's got how many conference titles too? Like, I just think Dabo's ahead of Rick in every way.
Yeah, and
they were both at their schools for a long, long time. It wasn't a flash in the pan thing like Orgeron at LSU. I mean, Dabo's been winning at Clemson for 10 years, 12 years.
Well, I think considering, like, this is my opinion on Rick. We all know Urban Meyer cheated to the best of his ability. We all know Nick Saban cheated to the best of his ability. I don't think Mark Richt did, and I think that's what put him behind those two.
Mark Richt's probably the cleanest coach in history, as far as that's concerned. But.
How did Saban cheat?
Well,
there have been accusations after accusations about the Alabama program the entire time Nick was there, and they just kept disappearing.
Well, you know what? There's accusations.
The ball cheats too, because I've heard accusations about him.
Slim, there's accusations. Any team that has a run like Alabama had, or Georgia's having now, or Clemson had, or a few years ago, any team that does that, there's going to be a group of fans that say, well, the only reason they're winning is because they're cheating.
I think someone's just saying that Mark Richt didn't take the advantages that most other coaches did. And that's what held him back.
The haters are going to hate.
The haters going to hate.
I probably shouldn't say this. I like Mark Richt. I still like Mark Richt.
And I've also maintained this when it comes to the whole cheating thing. I think much more of it revolves around boosters than it does coaches, because coaches come and go. Boosters don't.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you end up with the Jeremy Pruitts of the world that, just get kind of blatant about it. So obviously he was involved. But I don't think coaches know all of that kind of stuff because, like I said, they come and go.
I think they know a lot of it. I mean, if you're a coach of a football program, you don't have your pulse on what's going on.
I'm not saying that they're ignorant to it.
Right.
I'm saying there's absolutely things that go on that they don't know about, though. Or they have no control over. Perfect example. Hell, even the players said this. Randy Shannon was trying to get Nevin Shapiro as far away from everybody as he could. But Donna Shalala kept sticking in the middle of everything.
Oh.
So sometimes it's out of the coach's hands as well.
Yeah, there's definitely things that go on that's out of the coach's control, or that they might even not even know about. That's true. But that's never going to change either.
Right.
Especially now.
I'm just saying, as far as the whole, this coach cheated, that coach cheated. Mark Richt is probably one of the few that ran as close to a squeaky clean program as he possibly could.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody out there saying I don't like Mark Richt. I've never heard anybody say that. I mean, but you still have to win.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, I know Lou was stumping early in his YouTube journey for Rick to be fired, but I don't think that Uncle Lou dislikes Mark Richt, do you?
No. Yeah. I mean, one of the first Georgia videos I ever made in 2014 was a video saying don't fire Mark Richt. Give him one more year, because there was a lot of people wanted him fired in 2014. But then 2015, that was it. I had enough.
Yeah, I wasn't on YouTube at the time, but whenever when Bowden was the head coach at Clemson, I wanted him fired, and there was probably at least half of the fan base that liked him, and they go, and this is the excuse they used. Well, he's made 12 straight bowl seasons, and I'm like, is that your fucking standard? Is making a bowl? I don't dislike Tommy Bowden.
It's got to be a stepping stone on your way up, depending on where you're at a program.
Yeah, but if it's like constant,
They've been there for a while.
I don't know.
He was there for a long time, and he couldn't even win the fucking conference. I mean, so. But Tommy Bowden's a good guy. I'd have a beer with him.
I've kind of got a biased opinion when it comes to firing coaches, because, well, frankly, that's Miami's problem, is they keep fucking firing coaches.
Yep.
Speaking of firing coaches, what about the conspiracy theory that it's actually the University of Florida that's pushing this Jaden Rashada lawsuit, so that when they fire Billy Napier in November, they can fire him with cause and not have to pay his buyout?
That's
I've heard that.
That's an interesting theory, and there might be some weight to that. Well, first of all, a university is going to do anything they can do to not pay a buyout. So yeah, that would fall into that category.
Coaches at once.
Yeah.
We'll probably never know for sure, but like Tennessee fans swear up and down that Tennessee itself is the one that ratted Pruitt out.
So they could be sanctioned to hell?
Yeah, no.
So they could get rid of Pruitt without the buyout.
Without the buyout.
They really got slapped on the wrist, to be honest with you.
Yeah, $500,000 fine is about all they got.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, they were docked, 3 scholarships a year for 3 years? I mean, that ain't shit.
No.
I guess that's because I mean, when you rat yourself out, the penalties are not as harsh. So, yeah.
Well, in theory, yeah.
You could probably convince me they did that, because Pruitt's really the only one that got punished in that. Because he can't coach until whenever.
I think there's some other staffers and assistants who also are under a show cause order, but they're no-name people,
Again, Fulmer, who was the AD, retired. So, yeah.
Well, Fulmer's 100 years old, too, so.
Which Fulmer did his own snitching back in the day, because that was the rumor, was when Alabama got put on sanctions in the early 2000s, it was Fulmer that snitched on them.
Yeah. Also heard that Fulmer stabbed Johnny Majors in the back, but yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that one too.
Oh, he did it like out of jealousy? I haven't heard this. Huh.
Well, listen, that's still happening today. I guarantee you, Bobby Petrino is laying some kind of plan to get Sam Pittman out the door so he can be the Arkansas head coach.
Yeah, I don't know the exact story on the Johnny Majors, Phil Fulmer thing, but from what I know, it's similar to like the Bobby Bowden to Jimbo Fisher thing. Like Bobby Bowden didn't really want to leave, but they were like, "It's time for you to go, buddy." And it's like it kind of forced him out, type of thing.
It was a change that needed to happen.
Majors.
Yeah, Nick Saban avoided that. Now, he still was an elite program when he did it, but he avoided that whole getting pushed out thing by just saying, "I'm done."
Yeah.
You know,
he left on his own terms.
He left on his own terms, and look, he left because of what we're all talking about right now. He said it. He said, "I don't like the way that the college football the direction is going in."
Yeah.
You know.
I'm not a fan of it myself.
Plus, he's old. You know.
Kind of what they did with Rick.
He's 72 years old.
I think he probably looked at it and he probably went, I can probably coach for another 2 or 3 years, but it's probably going to take 5 to 10 years to straighten this mess out. And by
the time he gets straightened out, he'll be 90.
That's the thing. Where if you're a coach just like Kirby or Dabo's age, maybe you don't like it, but you're like, well, I think they're going to get it figured out in about 5 years, so I'll just tough it out. And I'll still only be 55 years old by the time I get it figured out, and I can coach for another 10 years.
I will be interested to see how Dabo spends this. I'm waiting for the first press conference where somebody asks him directly, so are you going to retire in 2025 based on what you said back in 2016? I'm interested to see what his answer is going to be about that, because he'll spin it some sort of way. I mean, he already did the spin deal when the NIL became a thing.
Yeah.
You know.
And whoever asks him that question will lose their Clemson press credentials within 30 seconds.
Yeah, someone get Peete a press badge.
Yeah, I ain't got no interest in it.
You're going to have to be like Tyler from Spartanburg or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
He don't care. He'll ask him.
Yeah.
He'll spin it in a way where he thinks it's a good thing for college football. The same way he did with the NIL. I'm telling you, I know Dabo. he's a spinner. He'll spin it to his advantage some way.
Pete, that over under tonight on the T was only 208, buddy.
Yeah, well, you know where I'm going.
I know. I took the over on the one last night.
Boy, Sir UJ, poor that poor bastard. I mean, he was counting his money last night. He bet the money line on the Pacers, and they fucking blew it at the very end.
Yeah, that would have been a nice. What was the payout on that? Like 180 or something? I mean, it had to be high.
Yeah, I think, yeah, something like that. I think he would have won over $100 on that.
Yeah.
I cashed in though. I cashed in on the over, and then I did a parlay on the 2 late Major League Baseball games and hit both of them.
Nice.
Yeah, I got paid. I ought to quit betting.
Parlay the baseball games. What do you just bet the full game money line?
No, I live bet both of them. I like to watch like the first 3 or 4 innings, and then I bet the over or the under. I don't hardly ever bet on the spread.
Yeah. You can parlay the live bets though.
Well, you know what? You're right. I didn't live bet those. Yeah, I bet the over on both of them before the game started. You're right.
And they both went over.
They both went over. Way over too. One of them came down to the last inning. I needed one more run. They were down 4, and they scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th to take it to extra innings. Yeah. I was sweating that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't always get to listen to the Lunch Money Show. What's the biggest win you've had?
My biggest win was I can't remember exactly what game it was, but it was $250. I know that.
Nice.
It was a parlay. What's your biggest win, Lou?
300 and something dollars, but it happened on a Saturday. What happened is I was down like $400 on a Saturday, and so on Sunday I did $100, like a 3-bet $100 parlay, and it hit. So it paid out $300 and something, but I was down $400. So it basically just zeroed me out for a week.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually come out ahead at the end of the week, but that individual bet I won $300.
Yeah, that's a Hail Mary.
Something. But Rick, man, we're mostly betting like $25 and $50 a game, 80 games a week. Like, we're not betting. Well, I can't speak for everybody, but I don't think any of us are betting like hundreds of dollars a game on a regular basis. Maybe once a week I might bet $100.
Yeah, that's how. That's my baseline is around $20 to $25 per bet. Every once in a while, I'll throw 50 or 75 on it. Yeah.
What about Colby?
Yeah, we were setting you up to ask me what my biggest win.
I'll ask you that in a minute. But mostly what we do, our strategy, at least as far as I can tell, is we play the long game. We bet in volume and hope to win more than we lose.
Volume.
We don't just do bet $300 on one game and hope we win it. We do a lot of small bets throughout the week. Otherwise, you get down $500 by Tuesday and you're fucked.
Today's great. Baseball starts at 1:00. Like, we can bet all day today. Baseball starts at 1, goes all day. You got the basketball game at 8:30. Yeah.
Plus, I don't think either one of y'all have hit Colby's level of degeneracy with it either.
No, he's betting Nigerian. What'd you say yesterday, Lou? Nigerian
handball.
Yeah. And Chinese soccer and WNBA draft and
yeah.
Jackpot wants to know where am I live betting. We have an individual that we do business with. I guess he lives in Georgia. He lives in your town, doesn't he, Lou? In Augusta?
He actually lives in North Augusta, South Carolina, right across the river.
So what it is basically there's a website that's set up for making bets, but there's no money exchange on the website. So it just keeps track of your betting, and at the end of the week, if you're up or you're down, he pays you or you pay him. That's pretty much how it works.
So y'all both have the same bookie.
Yeah, all of us do. Yeah. I got hooked up through Colby, and then Sir UJ finally got on board. Lou, you've been doing it with him since when? Like last fall?
Yeah, no, since November.
Yeah.
Now, the most I've won in a week is $1,200. Most I've lost in a week is $500.
2 weeks ago, I won 505. That's my biggest week. My worst week I've had to pay out was 200.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's your worst week. Yeah.
I'm still way up, over the long haul. The thing about Cash App is it shows you when you pay people or they pay you. There's like a graph. It tells you the differential between how much you've paid them and how much they've paid you.
Yeah.
So you can just look at it and see if you're up or down overall.
So the bookie only wins when y'all lose.
Yes. Yeah, and we only win when he loses.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like y'all are up on the bookie overall. So how's the bookie making any money?
Well, I don't know how many clients he has.
He's probably got hundreds.
Yeah, if he's got hundreds, he's making money. Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
The
look.
only person that's ever lost money by running a gambling enterprise is Donald Trump. Like, it's pretty easy to make money.
So, Rec Talk, you mentioned, what's your biggest win?
Slim.
Oh, Slim.
Slim's my biggest win.
Oh, okay.
It's the only bet I've
Yeah.
ever made.
Okay.
I might should dip my toe in this, see if I got some beginner luck, or I might lose every time I fucking spend on it.
As a degenerate myself, I would advise against it. Yeah.
But it's something I would like. I ain't gonna lie.
Especially if you value your personal relationships.
Yeah.
Fuck my
And
relationship.
it can make watching football a whole different endeavor for you.
Yeah.
You know, they miss a meaningless field goal, and now they don't cover the spread, and you're throwing your TV in the front lawn.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's weird is, like, football is really the only sport I care about, and I bet way less on that than I have on baseball or the NBA. And the reason why, I can watch any football game just for the enjoyment of watching it. I can't watch baseball or basketball unless I'm
there you go.
So I find myself making bets just so I have something to watch.
Yeah. Like I've gotten into the NBA playoffs just because of betting, and now I'm invested in the actual game where before I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also because it takes the joy out of watching football if you're betting on it at times.
Well,
I don't think I'd ever bet on my team.
No, not really. Because other than Georgia, I don't care who wins or loses outside of whether or not I bet on it or not. So it doesn't really take the enjoyment out of it for me. But generally, I don't bet on Georgia one way or the other because of that.
I can tell you right now, I'm way more successful betting on Major League Baseball and NBA than I am on college football, and I know more about college football than either one of those combined.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we've talked about this before, but you have a tendency when you're getting ready to bet something, not you, I'm speaking in general terms, but people in general have a tendency to overthink things.
Yeah.
I think when they're making bets. So sometimes you can know too much about something to where you're trying to break down every little aspect of everything and or shoot yourself in the foot.
Or you're biased in your own expertise.
That's absolutely 100% true.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
I might ought to turn my betting app off, during football season.
Yeah.
If I'm smart, which I'm not. So.
We both established that last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a 5-star dummy.
And I think too, when you're trying to, at least for me, I don't have a very good track record on trying to pick an upset, especially in football.
Well, no one does. That's why the bookie's always making money.
Yeah, I bet you, and this is bad, but I bet you 80% of my bets are on the favorites to cover. Like, I have a hard time taking the underdog into points.
Well, it depends on what sport. Now, in basketball, I don't have a problem taking the underdogs. In baseball, though, I never bet the underdog.
Yeah.
Ever.
Do you take money line favorites?
Yeah, I take heavy money line favorites, and most of the time I'll take 2 or 3 of them and parlay it.
But so they all have to hit.
Yeah, they all have to hit.
Like in football, it there for a few year period, you just knew it was a sure shot that Ohio State was going to cover the spread pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, look,
So I'll do a lot of those when it comes to football.
Yeah, so like if you take Alabama versus the Citadel, and they're and then you take whatever week where everyone plays cupcakes, and you parlay 5 different heavy favorites, and the payout's not going to be big, but the chances that any of them lose are going to be pretty low too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tough thing is unlikely things do happen. Like you have Alabama, South Florida last year, and you got Alabama as the favorite. They're not supposed to have it that close, but they do.
Fuck it, put my whole paycheck on the Citadel.
There you go.
I mean, when you're trying to play streaks like the Ohio State example, it's hard to know where on that streak you're getting in. Are you getting in at the beginning? Are you getting in at the middle? Are you getting in at the end? Like the Marlins. The Marlins were the worst team in baseball for the first month of the season. They had like the second worst record in the league. So everybody starts picking against them every game. Well, now their last 14 games, they're like 11-3. And the bookies are just laughing all the way to the bank.
And that's the thing.
You have to know how long the streak is going to be to know where you're getting at.
And like what happened to Lou the other day in baseball, he had the game basically won, right? It came down to the bottom of the 9th inning, and then they scored like 9 runs in the bottom of the 9th. And he lost.
Well, fifth. I had a bet on just the first 5 innings of a game. And all my team had to do was be winning by 1 or more after 5 innings. Top of the 5th inning, my team was winning 5-0. The other team scored 9 runs in the 5th fucking inning.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't wait 1 more inning?
That happened to me the other day, too, with the Braves. The Braves were up 5-0 going into the 5th inning. I had to bet on the whole game, though. I had the Braves on the money line. So I'm sitting there feeling good about myself. They're up 5-0. They ended up losing the fucking game.
Yeah. Learned your lesson on the Braves yet?
No, I told you I'm a 5-star dummy.
Neither.
And I was preaching the other day how I'll never bet on the Yankees. I bet on the Yankees yesterday and lost.
Truth or troll? Are the Braves still a covering machine?
No.
Troll.
That's a troll.
Yeah.
Troll.
I saw a stat somewhere yesterday that was like over the last 15 games, the Braves are like the 3rd worst hitting team in the league.
Yeah, I can attest to that just by watching them. I don't know that stat, but I believe it. So other than the over tonight, who are you taking as far as the spread?
I haven't picked a side on the spread. Here's the thing. I've become, I don't want to use the word fan, but I do like the Timberwolves.
I do too. They're the underdog story.
Yeah, but they're favored. I think they're favored today by 4.5. I'm probably not going to take a side. I didn't take a side yesterday either in the Pacers Celtics games. The Timberwolves and the Mavs.
Oh.
In Minnesota. So I just bet the over at 208. I do have a bet on whatever baseball game comes on at 1 o'clock, but I don't even remember what it is.
A lot of times I don't like betting the spread typically on the NBA playoffs before the game, but if a team gets down and the live bet goes to, an 11, 12, 13 point underdog, I'll typically live bet the underdog at that point and hope that they make some sort of comeback. Which is what happened. I live bet the Pacers game yesterday. It got all the way down to plus 11.5 for the Pacers. And then, of course, they made a comeback.
I was doing that for a while in college basketball, actually before the tournament started. Regular season college basketball games, I wouldn't bet the game, but like let's say some team was favored by 5. And within the first 5 minutes of the game, the other team actually had like a 6 or 7 point lead. The live bet odds would be completely reversed. So what 10 minutes ago was a 5-point favorite, you can bet now is like a 7-point underdog, and I would bet that, hoping that the better team would come back and win.
Yeah.
Didn't always work, but
I think I've won probably 80% of the winnings that I've had have been through live betting. I like live betting. Now it doesn't always work, but it works more often than it does. Well, so far it's worked more than it hasn't. So.
Yeah, you do live bet a lot. I just see from your screenshots.
Yeah.
A lot of your live bets, yeah.
Well, you get an idea about how the game's going, so you get a better idea how to bet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We finally got sports betting legal here in Florida, so
Well, South Carolina will be the last state to do that, if they ever do it.
Georgia will be next to last, I guess.
Yeah. Now, see, there's your bet. Who's actually going to be last, South Carolina or Georgia?
Which it kind of blows my mind that the southern conservative states are the ones that are more hesitant to do that, because aren't they all about free market and capitalism? I mean, I don't really understand what the hang up is there. I guess it's the same reason why.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's the Bible Belt.
Yeah, it is the Bible.
Yeah, but
We're the last ones to sell beer on Sunday. We were the last ones to get lottery. We'll be the last ones to get gambling and weed.
But they could be getting my tax dollars on my winnings. Instead, I'm betting through a gypsy and not paying any taxes on it.
With you.
Could be.
So.
Yeah, I think Nate it is in the background.
Yeah, I know. I know who's in the back room.
Okay.
And it's not just the taxes on our winnings. That's really a drop in the bucket. It's the taxes on the gambling companies where the states would make a killing.
Yeah.
You know, taxing DraftKings on all the money they make off of degenerates like us.
And they've got this dumb shit in South Carolina. In Myrtle Beach, you can go take the casino cruise. It's like, if you're going to have the casino cruise, why not just have a fucking casino?
Yeah.
You know,
They've got that in Tennessee, too. They got the river boats.
I've done it, too. And it was me, Mrs. Peete, and my sister, and about 50, 85-year-old people. That's what it was. Oh.
Well, I mean, as much as I gripe about it on the left, the same goes for the right. You can't legislate morality.
They try to. I mean, I'm
They
just
try.
like,
Well, I mean, both sides
all
try.
their money away. Like, why not? Like, let them. I mean,
Well, it's the same with the weed thing. It's some sort of moral high ground they're standing on with the weed thing. But people are still. If you want to smoke weed, you're going to smoke weed whether it's legal or not. Period.
Yep.
Not always. I mean, I was in. Me and Lou got in this conversation on the morning show one day. I was in the comments section, and Mississippi literally had to pass a law to stop the casinos from cashing welfare checks back in the day. Now, that's not necessarily a problem anymore because they don't send out checks anymore. But no, casinos shouldn't have been cashing welfare checks. I mean,
well, I agree, but that's someone else's. If you want to spend your money on it,
Yeah.
well, like I said, it's not really that necessarily isn't a problem anymore because they don't mail out checks anymore.
Yeah,
They should have to go to the liquor store to cash their check before they go like normal people.
So why were the casinos getting welfare checks?
they like
They were cashing them.
Because the casino doesn't care where the money's coming from, Vic. They just want the money.
Okay, so it was the people who went there to gamble were using their welfare
Yeah.
checks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because casinos will cash your paycheck.
Some
too.
still do.
I mean, if you could put your house note, give your house note to casino, they'd fucking take it. You know,
Right.
they don't care, and they shouldn't care either. They're a profit business.
Like I said, can't legislate morality.
Yeah.
I mean, in general, I agree with it. Yeah, people don't need to be going to the casino with welfare money. Yeah.
Yeah.
the Hope Scholarship taken out of like scratch off ticket tax money.
But the idea that making something illegal is going to stop people from doing it, I mean, it's been proven over and over again that that's just not how the world works. You know? I mean, look at me. It's illegal here. I'm still doing it.
They need more gun laws. That's what's going to prevent people from doing it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Yep.
Yeah, same thing.
It's been working great for the last 100 years.
Need more immigration laws.
Yeah, that's going to stop immigration too. Yeah, don't work. Prohibition doesn't work.
I know what would stop
Snipers and guard
immigration.
towers is what fixes that.
They're about a free market when it's convenient to them. Yeah. Well, they're pandering to a certain voter base. That's all it is. Look, there's not a single politician in South Carolina that really gives a fuck if I blow my entire savings on gambling. But they're trying to get a certain amount of people to vote for them that do care. That's all it is.
Yep.
Well, that's true for all politicians. I mean, on every issue too. I sent you a text message, Pete. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey, text message.
Let's see what it is here.
Check your text messages.
I will bet you $20 on South Carolina win over 5.5 total wins. I can send you $20 on June. I'm not taking bet. I don't. What do you holler at Lou on that?
$sign Uncle Lou here.
I'm not taking bets from anybody. The only bet I'm taking is whether or not Dabo will be the head coach in 2025 at Clemson or not. I'm not betting on South Carolina. That's Lou doing that. I might actually send you a bet, Lou, on the Clemson and Georgia game. Ooh. But the problem is, I have a problem betting this early. But you're only doing it for what, this week?
What, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I just do it once a year.
Okay. Well, I guess we could always make a bet before the game if you want to, a personal bet.
Oh, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
How many points is Clemson getting right now?
Like 2 touchdowns or something.
I think it's 12.5 or 13.
Okay.
I like Georgia at that number. If it goes over 14, then I really would have to think about it.
See, like, I don't know if Carson Beck breaks his leg in fall practice, that's going to change the line. That's why I don't like betting 3 months in advance.
Right.
So, I mean, I get why.
That line may shrink if Cade Klubnik breaks his leg.
Yeah, maybe. Now, as far as the win totals for the year, that I will bet on that 3 months in advance, but not on a specific game. How many of those bets have you got in?
Maybe 10.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, and you got to remember, as far as betting specific games, I'm not picking a side. They pick a side, and I just automatically agree to take the other side, even if I agree with their side of the bet.
Yeah.
Because that's how big of a degenerate gambler I am. So, like, here's some of them. Where are we at here? Oklahoma over 7.5 wins. Texas under 10.5 wins. As far as the specific games go, Tennessee minus 5.5 versus NC State. I'm going to lose that. Tennessee's going to beat them by more than 5. And Tennessee's either going to lose or win by 25. So, but I'll lose. So I'll lose that one. What else on here? Somebody's got Michigan plus 10 versus Ohio State. Texas minus 3.5 versus Michigan. Losing all these fucking bets. Georgia Tech plus 13 against Florida State. I'm losing all these.
Florida State's covering.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't, like I said, I didn't make those bets because, like, it's just people, I once a year I go, okay, I'll just take any bet anybody wants to make. And that's what
I don't think it's a bad strategy, honestly, because I feel like it's sort of like the bookie situation. A bookie just takes whatever bet you want to make, and they come out on top most of the time.
Yeah.
So
now, with a bookie, it's a numbers deal. Like, the more bets he takes, the more likely he is to win.
Right.
And, with me, I guess it's true. That's true too. But I don't take nearly enough bets for the law of averages to even come into effect, really. But so I've just got lucky the last 2 years that I didn't take a beating. I think I lost like $10 maybe last year, and we're talking about $500 worth of bets probably. And I came out maybe $10 below. The first year I did it, I made a couple $100 on the bets.
I'd be willing to bet you'll either about break even or make money this year too. I don't care what the bets are, but that's just the nature of betting. But
well, Vegas,
there's only one more day that I'm doing it, and that's Thursday. So like right now, there's how many's on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
It sucks. I won't even get to see all this. I'll have to pay all my bets.
Maybe it won't be any more than 25 bets, and most of the bets are $25, a handful or 50. So it's not a lot of money either one way or the other.
Well, it sounds like the law averages have worked to this point for you.
Yeah, so far I've gotten either that or the people are just that bad at betting. I don't know. I mean, you know what a bookie wants? A bookie wants, like, let's say a line on a game is 10 points. A bookie wants $100 bet on one side of the line and $100 bet on the other side of the line.
Yeah.
That's what the bookie wants. They want the exact same amount of money bet on each side of every line, because if that happens, they win 10% of the money bet.
Yeah, and that's why betting moves the line for that specific reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of the juice. Because, like, if you bet $100, you only win 90. Where's that other 10 go? The bookie keeps it. So if he gets the same amount of money on both sides of a bet, there's no way he can lose.
Yeah, I'm glad you explained. A lot of people don't know, like, you have to win 10% beyond what you bet.
In the long run, yes. So, yeah. So, like, if you win 65% of your bets, you're not making a whole lot of money.
No. You'll make a little bit, but not a lot.
Right.
It also depends on what you're betting, too.
That's true, too, because what a lot of people will do, similar to gambling in a casino, blackjack or whatever else, they'll vary their bet amount. So a lot of gamblers bet in units. So, like, maybe their unit is $100. So on an average game, they'll bet $100. But if they really like a game, maybe they bet 2 units or $200. And the more confident they are in their pick, the more units they'll bet on an individual game. So you could actually, like, win 1, lose 2, and still make money if you bet 4 units on your win and 1 unit on each of your losses. So it just depends.
So a unit
set up
roll or 10? How do you?
What?
A unit is what % of your bankroll?
Well, professional gamblers will tell you never to bet more than 1% of your bankroll on any game. But I'm not a professional gambler. So, like, if I bet $100 on a game, that doesn't mean my gambling account is $100,000.
Right.
It's not. Yeah. But, like, professional gamblers don't bet over 1% of their bankroll on any one game.
Right. Vandy Dandy says the best strategy is to bet $500 on one game a week. I disagree.
Vandy Dandy focus.
Well, the strategy has nothing to do with he doesn't know what he's talking. It's not the amount of money. Now, most people will tell you it's better to bet less games than more, but
yeah, that's true.
But the amount doesn't matter. All the amount does is the amount just dictates how much you win or lose. It doesn't dictate your chances of winning or losing.
Yeah. Plus, if you only bet one game a week and you bet $500, you might lose 3 weeks in a row. Now you're down $1,500.
Right.
So
3 weeks ago, you're
down bad.
Yeah.
Especially if you're putting money on.
Or where's the most money at? Is the most money in like point spread or just straight up pick, or like where's the most money?
I don't really think there's a distinction.
What do you mean by
there's not?
Well, your biggest payout, the odds change based on the bet you take. So, like, let's say a football team is a 10-point favorite and you just pick that team to win the game. You don't bet the spread. You just say, I think this 10-point favorite, I just want to bet on them to win the game, and you bet $100. You're not going to get $100. You might get 40.
Yeah.
Because you're betting a 10-point favorite. Now, if you bet that same $100 on the 10-point favorite to win by more than 10, then that $100 bet will make you $90 instead of 30 or 40 that you would have made by just picking them to win. The opposite is true if you bet an underdog. So let's say you bet a 10-point underdog to actually win the game. Your $100 bet might pay you $180 if they win.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Vandy Dan. He says, but you're only betting the best pick of the week. I understand, but so you're wagering, like he just said, you're wagering if you're just picking the heaviest favor of the week, you're wagering $500 to win $200. Like, that's not that, in my opinion. It might sound like a smart bet, but it's not worth it to me.
Betting big favorites just straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to get 9 out of 10 right.
Right.
You can go 9-1 betting big favorites and still lose money.
Right.
Yeah, like Colby betting on what's her name to be the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft. A $100 bet won you $10.
Look, there is no real strategy as far as that goes. The real strategy, the professional bettors, what they do is they have a lot of research that goes into it. They know if the quarterback for the fucking Giants' girlfriend broke up with him on Tuesday, then bet against the Giants. Like, they know every little piece of information that might affect the game.
They're
Gotta find out if Daniel Jones' girlfriend broke up with him.
Yeah. A set that is not mathematically advantageous, and Vegas will limit the amount of money they can bet.
Yeah, even the site that we use, there's a $200 cap, I think, isn't there, Lou, on one game?
The cap is based on the payout. So, like, if you want to bet a heavy favorite, you can bet $1,000 because the payout might only be $200.
Okay.
But if you want to bet a big underdog, yes, it's capped. So, like, you might only be able to bet $200 on a 10-point underdog because the payout will be $600 or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, they bet that way. That's how they. So yeah, they get you that way. It makes it harder to catch up when you're down.
Yeah, they're their exposure.
Yeah. And casinos, like what he was saying, if you go into the same casino 20 days in a row and bet $1,000 and you win 20 days in a row, the 21st day when you go in there, they're not going to let you bet 1,000. They're going to tell you can only bet 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there ain't nothing you can do about it either.
They'll take first.
Yeah. Them's the rules. House always wins in the long run.
Yeah. The game for sure.
Right? Fucking Dana White's been banned from how many casinos because he took them to the cleaners?
Yeah, well, the famous story is how he won like $2 million on the blackjack table in one night, and they banned him from the casino for it. And he said, "Hey, dummies, I'm not holding our fights here anymore. How about that?" I mean, talk about a stupid move.
Yeah.
It was dumb.
I mean, the amount of money they were making off those fights pales in comparison to what they had to pay him on the blackjack table for one night.
Yeah.
So,
about what you're gonna lose and not having.
Dana White don't give a fuck.
No, not a single one.
Now, granted, his chances of winning big like that are higher because he's probably playing $50,000 a hand.
Yeah.
Those aren't higher.
Oh, something happened to Rec. Vandy wants to know, or is anybody betting on the election? I probably won't, but if I were to, I'm betting on Trump. I think he's going to win.
I don't think I've ever bet on an election. I don't think.
Yeah.
What do you think, Lou? You think he's going to win?
Who, Trump?
Yeah.
If I had to bet today, I'd bet on Trump, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you lost, could you sue and say the election was rigged?
No.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can, but you'll lose. I mean, like Trump did.
Yeah, you beat me to it.
Or like Hillary Clinton did.
Sure. She didn't sue.
No, they just tried investigating it for 3 years. Didn't work out very well.
With Russia, yeah.
You want some pepper to go with your salt?
Well, somebody will put a bet. I don't know. Do you think our website will put out a money line on the election? I think there is a tab on it. Oh, they have. What is it?
Last time I looked, it was dead even between Trump and Biden.
Oh fuck! Don't tell me that. I'll take Trump on the money line if that's the case.
Yeah, that's easy right there.
Yeah, they had the same odds. They had the same odds. What's weird is that there's another bet on there that just says Republican candidate or Democrat candidate, and those odds are different than Biden and Trump's odds.
You know why that is?
Well, yeah, because they think one or both of them might die or get shot.
Or they think that there is certain people, and this is a conspiracy theory, I know, but there's certain people that think that Biden won't be running in this election, that they're going to replace him with some another candidate because of his condition.
Right.
Now, I don't think that, but that's the reason that line is the way it is. Two separate bets.
Well, I want to make sure I heard you right. Trump and Biden are so old that there's different lines in the event they die, which is not the most unlikely thing ever.
Well, in the event that they die or get,
it's just when you go to bet on the presidential election, there's a bunch of different people you can bet on. You can bet on Trump. You can bet on Biden. You can bet on Kamala Harris. You can bet on what's the guy's name from California?
Newsom. Gavin Newsom.
You can bet on him.
Yeah.
There's another that you can bet on Republican candidate or Democrat candidate.
Yeah, but there's always
it doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
If any Republican wins the election, you win. If any Democrat wins the election, you win. And it's just weird to me that the odds are different for that than they are the Trump and Biden.
Yeah, because one of them could die or one of them could be replaced for some reason. Like if Trump were to go to jail, they have to pick a different candidate.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah.
Are they better or worse for the generic odds?
Better.
Yeah.
Okay.
The payout's more. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. That was a dumb question, actually.
Yeah.
There's a minimum age requirement to run for president. Can we put a maximum on
35.
Yeah.
It should be probably capped around 70 if it were up to me.
Yeah, I might even go a little lower than that.
Lower than 70.
Enough, Slim. Watch out.
Yeah.
I don't know about lower than 70.
Like
70 sounds fun.
I mean, you may or may not agree with this. I think age of being eligible for Social Security is a good moratorium to put on it.
What are the odds of RFK Jr. winning?
He's on there.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Yeah, I bet you it's like plus 800. More than that, maybe.
Pretty ridiculous.
Did you ever talk about the thing where he said a worm ate his brain?
No.
Yeah, I think I've heard that, but yeah.
Oh, I think he did have a parasite. Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. Like midday show material there.
Yeah, well, it does sound like midday show material. The problem with it is
brain worm.
The reason I have this channel and the shows on this channel is because of talking about shit like that. That's the problem.
Right. Believe me, I'm.
Yeah. Well, that and Vic, Vic gets everybody's channel shut down. So.
What does everybody think is going to happen next week with the Trump jury?
Man, I don't know, because he's damn near been thrown in contempt over his nonsense.
Yeah,
he's gonna be fine.
They're going to do closing arguments and then supposed to go to the jury next week.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to win.
Well, I was about to say, I think he's gonna be fine.
Now, if he doesn't win this, but like, what are the odds at that point that somebody decides to prosecute Clinton? Because he got away with some of the exact same shit.
0%.
Yeah, 0%.
Yeah, I don't even know what it has to do with Clinton.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on which trial you're talking about.
The trial in New York City, one that goes to the jury next week, the one we've been talking about for the last couple of minutes.
Well, there's a couple of them, because the Stormy Daniels trial is in New York City, too.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's only one Trump trial going on right now.
I know.
I think he gets off just because no one.
So what does that have to do with Clinton?
Bill Clinton did the exact same thing in 1998.
What was talking about?
What? No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
What?
No, yes,
What are you saying that Bill Clinton did?
That's
Trump's not on trial for paying hush money. He's on trial for falsifying business records. Paying hush money is not a crime, sir.
Which is what is it? Is it
That was one of those
that because you had it marked down
charges
as
that
legal
he got.
expenses?
No, it's not. There is no charge called you paid hush money. That's not a crime. He's not on trial for that. He was never charged with that. That's not a crime. He's on trial for falsifying business records.
Which technically really isn't false because he wrote them down as legal expenses, and they were legal expenses.
He overvalued his properties when he was going to get loans, and then
No. That is not this trial. No,
That's a different case. Yeah, I think.
y'all
None
aren't
of us
paying
know what this
attention.
trial is.
Hang up on the people that don't know what we're talking about.
Hang up on me, Pete.
No, I'm not hanging up on you.
Trial.
There are multiple trials going on.
Yeah.
No, there's only one trial going on right now. None of the other trials are going on.
Okay, so the one that Rex talking about, he's definitely going to get off of that because I don't know how you can prosecute somebody and convict them when you get a loan and pay it back in full. I don't care what you value your property at. He paid back the loan.
Yeah, I don't really think about that. We're talking about the trial that's going on right now. Michael Cohen testified. The one where they paid off Stormy Daniels and wrote it down wrong or whatever, the falsifying business documents case.
So he like used campaign money or something when he wasn't supposed to. In my defense, there's so many different trials against him, it is hard to keep up.
Yeah, they're doing everything they could do to try to get him not to be able to run.
Well, this is the only. None of the other. I don't think anything's ever.
And the reason is because they know he's going to win. That's. Let's be real about it. They don't want him to run because they know he's going to win.
All right. Well, they don't know he's going to win, but they're afraid that he's going to win.
Yeah.
Why did he lose last time?
I don't know what that has to do with this time.
Yeah.
So said he's going to win last time.
No, he said it. I'm saying it now. I'm saying he's going to win. I mean, do you think he's not going to win?
I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. I think he will most likely win.
Yeah.
But I think it's a thinner margin than people believe it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it'll be close either way. It always is. But I would pick. I would bet on Trump right now if I had to bet right now.
So here is the odds.
You're not going to get a Ronald Reagan lopsided win. Nobody's saying that.
Courtesy of Sir UGA, he actually pulled up the election odds. So here it is. Donald Trump is minus 170 to win. Joe Biden is even money. RFK Jr. is plus 2250. Michelle Obama. Hold on. Michelle Obama is plus 20. She's barely. Listen to this. Michelle Obama almost has the exact same odds as RFK Jr. does at plus 2,300. Then it's
happened to The Rock and Oprah.
they're not on here, but listen to these are all the names that are listed. I won't tell you all the values, but we'll just go through them. Michelle Obama, then Gavin Newsom, then Kamala Harris, then Nikki Haley, then Gretchen Whitmer. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Governor of Michigan.
Okay. Then Hillary Clinton, then Jamie Dimon, then Mark Cuban.
Jamie Dimon. It's like they had a Goldman Sachs or something.
Yeah.
I didn't know all these people were in the race.
I didn't either.
Jamie Dimon, then Mark Cuban, then Liz Cheney. That's the only ones that are listed on the betting app.
Liz Cheney.
What about Kanye?
Kanye West, he's plus 50,000.
That's where I'm putting my money.
Yeah, man, you bet on Yeezy.
Yeah, man.
See you later, Josh Williams. Fucking retard.
I'm writing myself in for the first time.
What happened?
I've never written anybody in. Yeah, what do you do?
Oh, he just typed the N word over and over in the chat.
Oh.
Yeah. For no reason, other than he's an idiot.
Did I tell y'all about Alita asking me about the New York Knicks?
No.
No. What about him?
She asked what their, she knows less about basketball than I do, really. But so she's like, so who are these teams called or whatever? And I'm like, well, that's New York and that's Indiana. New York what? And I was like, Knickerbockers. Knickerbockers.
Yeah,
We're watching the game, and I had bet on New York. I don't remember whether it was New York to win or the score, whatever it was. But anyway, I bet on New York, and so I told we're rooting for New York. They do something, and all of a sudden she's standing up, hollering, "Let's go Knickers!"
Oh,
So then it turned into this whole thing where, and just for the record, in case any trolls are listening to record this later, even if it was Dante DiVincenzo, who's a white Italian, if he missed a shot, it was like, look at this stupid knicker. This dumbass knicker can't make a shot. They went on and on and on, and we laughed.
That's great.
Hashtag can't blue, I guess, but I was saying knickerbockers, like short knickerbocker, knickers.
All right.
Well, you're telling the story, so we got to cancel BA right along with you.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Damn. That's Asian.
Niggers win.
That's Asian on black crime there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was disappointed that the Knickers got eliminated.
Yeah.
I was rooting for them Knickers.
I predicted, well, it still hasn't come true yet, but a couple of weeks ago during the first round, I predicted the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Boston Celtics in the finals. And right now, my pick is looking good. I don't know if it'll happen. But
Right now, yeah.
I think it's all right to give up on the Knicks. I think even Spike Lee's given up on the Knicks.
Yeah.
No, I still think the Celtics are going to win it all.
I think they have the best team. Doesn't mean they're going to win. Somebody yesterday said that they have a habit of blowing it in the finals every year. So I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about it.
Boston?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody told me that too in one of my chats.
I understand.
Yeah.
Like,
I've heard that.
I understand, but I mean, this year, I don't think nobody matches up well against Boston Celtics this year.
But this year is probably their year. So.
Yeah, this year is their year.
I'm about to say they managed one when Kevin Garnett was there back in the day. So
they've got the team to do it. I mean, I think I don't know. They probably are the favorite to win it all, aren't they? They should be.
Yeah, they are the favorite.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
Dylan says Pacers and Timberwolves. The Pacers can score. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But
they blew it last night. 5-star dummies.
Well, that's kind of the story of the Pacers, too. I mean, they couldn't even get it done with Reggie Miller.
Yeah, that was back when I used to really watch it all the time. It seemed like it was the Pacers and Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals every single year, or the Bulls. One of the, two of those three were in there every year.
Look, this Josh Williams guy can make as many fake accounts as he wants and come in here and type that. But he's wasting his time, which his entire life is a waste already. So it's nothing new to him.
Yeah.
So.
School's out.
Yeah, school. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, today's my kid's last full day.
Yeah, he must have got out. Yesterday must have been his last day.
Yeah. And his parents are at work. He's at home by himself with no supervision, apparently.
Well, his mom's at work. He doesn't have a dad.
Yeah.
Doesn't even know who it is.
The mailman.
Oh, I can't say nothing. I don't know who my daddy is either.
He was raised by Minecraft, that Josh Williams.
But see, Josh, that should tell you, I didn't have a daddy neither, so there is hope for you if you get your shit straight.
Yeah, there you go.
So, when I was a kid, my older brother used to tell me, he used to always troll me and tell me that the mailman was my real daddy.
Oh yeah.
His name was Joe, like me, and he goes, that's your real dad, right? And I would get mad and go tell my mom, and my mom would have to whoop him.
Oh, so Pete was a snitch. Okay.
Yeah. I was like 8, dude. I was like 8 years old.
Well, when someone starts questioning who your daddy is, you got to do something about it.
I swear, I got 2 8-year-olds in the house. Those are the snitchingest kids I've ever seen in my life. They can't wait to tell on each other.
Oh, my kids do that too.
And make some lunch. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, see you later.
Toodles.
I saw a tweet yesterday that Josh Peete retweeted. It said, "What used to be really bad when you were a kid, but is good now?" And Josh Peete retweeted it and said, "Clemson."
I saw that.
I said, "Yeah, damn."
Which is kind of true.
I thought it was funny because I can relate.
Good old Clemsoning days.
Yeah. Well, they're Clemsoning now, it seems. Well, they Clemsoned last year for sure.
I'm about to say it. From the looks of it, Clemsoning is making a comeback.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, they damn sure Clemson against Duke to start the season out last year. That's for sure.
Pete, have you been paying attention to our favorite Twitter account?
I see not like in particular. I mean, I see some of the stuff he tweets. Why? What's he doing now?
He's talking about moving cities. So we went from Antarctica having the secret city. He had a video of if you've ever played BioShock Infinite, these cities in the sky now. So the cities everywhere.
Yeah, I used to play that game. I like that game.
Yeah, he's
wait a minute, isn't there a city
is real.
Isn't there a city under the Denver airport Wasn't that a thing?
I'm sure it's on this guy's Twitter account.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's where the Illuminati's headquarters is underneath the Denver airport.
There is some. What is it with the Denver airport?
I don't know. I was in the Denver airport when that was my layover going to Vegas in January. So I had heard all this stuff about, the Denver airport and all the satanic symbols and all this shit. I didn't see any of it. And I looked for it too. I had a 3-hour layover. I was over there looking for Satan himself. I couldn't find shit.
Well, that's because you're in the Matrix.
Oh, yeah, that's
you're
true.
Not going to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, your mind's not open like these guys.
Right.
Yeah, the government's hiding it from you.
Yeah, I don't know. Lou wants to know who's running the Slob Wrestling account. I don't know who it is, but it's fucking great.
Is there more videos since yesterday or whenever?
I haven't looked. I can look now.
I mean, they spent a lot of time on that. I'm impressed.
Well, they spend a lot of time making the characters, but it's just simulated after that. But
is it simulated?
Yeah. Nobody's playing it. It's just a simulation. Yeah. Well, that's the decree that's written on the YouTube page. It says that this is just a simulation. The maker of the characters has nothing to do with the outcome of the matches.
That I thought that was maybe the funniest thing about it is there was like so many disclaimers. Like, I don't want any beef.
Yeah.
I don't want any drama.
Yeah.
Just TK beating the shit out of Nate.
Let's see here.
I'm in the dark on this one. What have I missed?
A lot.
Yeah. So somebody made a YouTube channel called Slob Wrestling Entertainment, and they made characters that resemble certain people like Uncle Lou, Tiger Cat, Nate the Great, who's a Vic Tube. That's the only one so far. And then they do a simulated wrestling match. We watched all of the videos on Monday's Midday show. It was hilarious.
It's with like character creation on WWE, I think.
Now this could be a problem.
Oh, Millis Vanillis is the other one, yeah.
Now, I'm not saying any slob in particular may go down this route, but is he opening himself up to possible NIL litigation?
I don't know.
That's a damn good question.
Oh, the first one the last one he made was Celine Driver versus Millis Vanillis. Nate the Great versus Tiger Cat, Uncle Lou, Tiger Cat, and Vic Tube in a 3-way death match.
Pete, would you be willing to opening the NIL investigation on the Slob Wrestling?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have an attorney on retainer that can lead this charge. So.
Well, good.
Yeah, I don't know who's making this. And I feel like if they wanted to let us know who it was, they already would have. I think they want to remain anonymous for some reason. Here it is.
I think they're worried about all the beef.
I don't know what they're worried about.
All the disclaimers. Please don't hurt me.
The two funniest ones, in my opinion, are Millis Vanillis and Uncle Lou. Like, they look more like their actual person than the rest of them do. Celine Driver doesn't look anything like Celine Driver. I don't know what he did there, but Alan A is a good guess. Yeah, probably. I think it is somebody young.
Chess does run a wrestling channel nowadays.
Yeah, but Chess wouldn't put that disclaimer up.
No.
Man, that's a good point. He ain't smart enough for that.
Well, Chess likes the drama. I'm sure he'd let himself be known.
I am waiting for the next match, though. I'm excited about it.
Who do you think it's good? Can we take bets on who will be in the next wrestling?
Yeah, I don't know.
Will you make an appearance, Pete?
You know what? I don't know. I mean, I'm open to the idea. I wonder if they make a PigskinPeete character, if it'll have a Hawaiian shirt on.
No, if it doesn't, that'll be a travesty.
That will be a travesty. Chess isn't creative enough to come up with this. Yeah, that's probably true too. My guess would have been Squidtard, but it's not him. According to him, it's not him. That seems like something Squidtard would do, though. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna holler at you guys later. You guys take it easy.
Yeah, you take it easy too. I'm actually I got to get off too. So, anyway, great show today, guys.
Hooray!
Yeah, I appreciate all of you for coming on.
Yes, sir.
All right, talk to y'all later. See you later, Rec, Vic, and Slim Shady
Toodles.
Kings. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for me. Have a great Wednesday. If I don't see you before then, I'll be back on Friday morning at 11 a.m. for another edition of this shit show. Have a great day, everybody.